All right, everybody, back with our second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. I am fired up to get into this week's questions. This is part 2, so hopefully you tuned in yesterday. We had some great questions. That was episode 3417. Of course, you can always just add that number to the end of stephencabral.com/ and then just add in the numbers, 3417. Very easy. You'll get right over there. And if you want to read along with today's questions, they'll be at 3418. Okay, let's dive right in the show. I really want to get into what the community has for questions, all things health and wellness and anti-aging and longevity and high performance health and weight loss, body transformation, weight gain. Let's go. All right, Lena is up first, and Lena says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. My neck has been feeling very fatigued for the past few months. My spinal x-ray revealed a mild C5, C6 disc space narrowing with end plate osteophyte formation. I'm applying castor oil onto this area daily as I believe it helps to disintegrate bone spurs. Can you please provide guidance on what more I can do to break up these bone spurs and strengthen that area of my neck? Besides neck exercises, which I'm doing, are there any dietary suggestions or supplementation that would help? I'm very grateful for all you do for us in the community. Thanks much, Lena." All right. Thank you, Lena. I appreciate that and happy to help always. So here's what we want to do. The bone spurs are most likely occurring because there's now some maybe bone on bone from the vertebrae. And that bone on bone is creating a bone spur, a thickening of the bone because of the abrasion. So really the first thing that we need to do are the neck I'm not going to use this properly, but it's neck lengthening, because you're not necessarily looking to make your neck longer, but you're looking to create the space, normal space between the vertebrae. And your neck is not meant to be straight. So when you said C5, C6, you're talking about the cervical vertebrae, and the discs are between them. The discs are basically like bumpers. They're buffers so that your bones and your vertebrae don't sit on top of each other, right? So now when we look at that, the discs can degenerate as we age with injury, or with all of us, myself included, staring at a computer screen all day where our head is leaning over our chest and shoulders. So I try to do it. I literally try to do it all the time. Pull your chin in. There are a bunch of exercises that you can go over. I definitely recommend looking at cervical strengthening, neck strengthening exercises, how to work on your posture. That includes stretching the SPM muscles in your neck, the sternocleidomastoid muscles, stretching the pectoral muscles in your chest, strengthening those posterior deltoids and rhomboids in the back. All of it needs to be worked on. So strength is the most important thing. Now, your intermittent fasting will help. 12 to 14 hours a day works great for most people. 6 at night to 8 in the morning for most people. Upon waking, you can do your greens drink, your daily fruit and vegetable blend, your electrolytes, whatever works for you, your lemon water, however you like to do it, but add 2 of the proteolytic enzymes. Again, I'm not giving any medical advice, true medical diagnosis, but that can really help with any additional fibrin that's being built up in the body. And then temporarily, inflammation-wise, the Inflammasoothe can be a really great product. 3 at breakfast or 3 at dinner. You can also do 1 a meal if you want, but most people just pop 3 at once. All of this is available at stephencabral.com/shop. That'll take you over to EcoLife. That's our global functional medicine practice. Hopefully that helps. Thank you. All right, Heather's up. "Hello, Dr. Cabral. I'm a 47-year-old woman who's been experiencing double vision upon waking that usually lasts till around 11 a.m. It does not happen every day, but has been happening for a year and a half. It also happens when I have alcohol. I went to my optometrist and he said everything looked good. I went to my PCP and I wanted to run labs. No red flags, so he wanted to do an MRI in my brain. I decided to run the Big 5 labs instead and found out I was low on all B vitamins. Well, there you go. That's a big part of what I was just going to share. And had SIBO and Candida. I did the 21-day detox, completed the CBO, and we'll be starting heavy metal detox next week. As of this writing, I'm still experiencing double vision intermittently." All right, thank you. Yeah, so let's get on to that right now. Let's actually give you some of these reasons for the double vision. Now, it can be overall, literally neuromuscular fatigue. When the body's exhausted, believe it or not, there are muscles in the eyes. And those muscles in the eyes can be just as weak as your grip, just as weak as your legs doing squats. So we actually want to strengthen those muscles in our eyes. There are eye strengthening exercises, believe it or not. But really what we need to do is get rejuvenating sleep and make the body stronger. The next part is low mitochondrial output. Believe it or not, vision is also tied to the mitochondria. Strengthening those mitochondria. I have a lot of shows on strengthening the mitochondria. Yes, there are good nutritional supplements out there like Cell Boost, which strengthens the mitochondria, gives your mitochondria the nutrients that it needs, but you also want to exercise, anti-inflammatory diet plan, balance the amount of proper nutrients in the body, which I'll get to next. A lot of this I talk about in the Rain Barrel Effect book. Okay, next is nutrient deficiencies. Without a doubt, they are vitamin B1, B2, B6, B12, and magnesium. So, daily nutritional support shake for breakfast, 1 capsule of activated B complex at lunch, 1 capsule of activated B complex at dinner. Then you've got all your B vitamins. You don't need to worry. Then your magnesium, okay? Minimum 2 capsules of full spectrum magnesium at dinner. And if you want, you can use the calming magnesium before bed to really get into a deep rejuvenating sleep. All right, that's just minimum. Usually it's always daily foundational protocol level 2 or 3, the immunity protocol plus the specialty. All right. Hopefully that gets you started, but that's absolutely what I would do. And the heavy metal detox, in case there are heavy metals, because that can cause blurred vision for sure as well. And then the mitochondria, the Cell Boost, if you wanted to add Cell Boost. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. Working on your gut, working on heavy metals, tremendous as well. Next question is from Thomas. Thomas says, thanks for all of your work. It's been a very helpful resource for my family and I as we continue to improve our health. My question is about SPMs, specialized, pro, resolving, mediators. Can you speak about their efficacy or the lack thereof and whether you personally use them or use them in your practice now? Okay, great question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me this before. So I love to geek out on all the specialty niche nutritional supplements, but you'll almost never hear me talk about them because they're like so far down the line. You really need to be using the top 12 to 15 products that I talk about on like what most humans need before we even start to talk about these. But is there a time and place for SPMs? If you're already doing the daily foundational protocol level 2, which is the daily nutritional support, which is your whole multi and protein, all that good stuff, your daily fruit and vegetable blend for 22 organic fruits and veggies, your vitamin D3, your daily probiotic support, your daily omega-3 support, then you're doing your vitamin C and your balanced zinc. Okay, now we say, what else might the human body need? Well, for our friend that we just spoke to, Heather, she may need the Cell Boost, right? And she may need the activated B complex. For others that have maybe crazy allergies or Th2 dominance, they might want to try an SPM. Here's the thing though, SPMs are still so far down my list. First of all, why do you have all these issues in the first place? Let's work on the root cause. Let's work on the digestive issues. Let's work on why there's so much mast cell activation. And if there was a lot of mast cell activation, I'd recommend more vitamin C, your FM zinc, and I would recommend the Hispro, 2 capsules up to 3 times a day. So like there's so much before SPMs, but there is actually some clinical research. SPMs are basically additional extracts from something like EPA and an omega-3. So there is definitely research on it, but I used to use them in my practice. And then I was running the omega-3s because I was like, well, if they're taking an SPM, they may not need the daily omega-3 support. Turns out you do. It doesn't raise your omega-3s by that much. It works on very specific, as they said, resolving mediators, which are downflow essentially of EPA. So they can work. There is clinical research on it. I very rarely use them in my practice. But if you're doing all the things and you're working on your gut and you're working on, your histamines, and you want to add this in to see if you get benefit, sure. Yeah, 2 to 3 soft gels a day. You can definitely use those. I usually use them away from the omega-3s because you're already getting the omega-3s. So you could do them away from a meal with your daily omega-3 support. All right. Hopefully that was helpful, Thomas. But yes, used to use them in my practice. Don't anymore. There is research on them. Yeah, without a doubt. All right, Michelle's up next. Hi, thank you for your show. I've learned so much from listening to your podcast. Happy to hear that, Michelle. I'm just wondering your thoughts on a dental procedure. After my last dentist appointment, I was told I needed 2 root canals. Or if I wanted to spend a little bit more, I could have 2 implants. My question is, which one is safer? I've heard root canals can cause problems like low-grade infections lasting a long time, but I haven't heard anyone talk about the bad side effects from implants. Thank you for all you do, Michelle. Okay. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it is a tough one. You absolutely want to find a good biological dentist that you can trust. There's a bunch of different websites out there. You can just type local biological dentist. You can go to IAOMT.org. I talk about this in the Rain Barrel Effect. Here's the thing. A root canal is going to, if you don't know, a root canal is going to save your tooth, your natural tooth. The problem is as you destroy the roots, it can allow for bacteria to grow under there. That bacteria then can cause, as you just said, low-grade infections. So ultimately, if the bacteria grows, you can do an ozone injection or you can do other things to clean it up. But if it creates some type of abscess or infection, you might eventually have to have that tooth removed anyways, and then you put in an implant. The problem with people taking out the tooth completely is that if you do it in too many spots in your mouth, you can get this bone resorption, or the other teeth start to crowd in, and it really destroys your overall oral architecture. So many people do opt for the implant, but you don't have to. I mean, if you find a good person to do the root canal, and it is done properly, it is sealed, it is clean for the most part, and you don't get an infection, then you're kind of like, oh, good, I saved my tooth. But if not, then you're going to go with the titanium or the zirconium, proper implant that will then hold the space in your mouth. And it is much more, it's like double the price, and there's just much more of a procedure. That's the truth. So here's the thing. I can never tell you what to do, of course, but the person in a better position than me to share this with you would be talking with a good biological dentist. And if you can find 2 in your area, get 2 opinions. That's what I would do. All right. Thanks for writing in. Hopefully that was helpful. Savannah is up next. Savannah says, hypothyroidism runs in my family. Both my mom and my dad have it, and my grandmother's had it. I was diagnosed in my early 20s, but haven't been on medicine since I am having my son in 2023, and was wondering what's the best protocol of supplements and foods to keep the thyroid healthy or heal if possible. Thanks. Okay, so this is very clear, very straightforward. Happy to help you with this. And we help so many people with thyroid issues. First thing you want to do is, if you can run the Big 5, you want to run the Big 5. All right, that's going to look at all your vitamin levels, all your mineral levels. It's going to look at your heavy metals. It's going to look at your gut function, food sensitivities, omega-6s to omega-3 inflammation. And it's going to look at all your hormones. And that includes estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, your thyroid, vitamin D3, hemoglobin A1C. So amazing. If you can only run one lab, I get it, totally understand. You'll run the stress mood and metabolism test, because we really can't help you with your thyroid until we know what's going on with your thyroid, right? And so that is going to give you, as I just talked about, all your hormones. And it's not just going to give you TSH like most doctors run. It's going to give you free T3, free T4, and your TPO antibodies. If your TPO antibodies are below 50, you don't have Hashimoto's. Again, I'm not giving you a diagnosis, but I'm just letting you know what the medical literature says. But if your TSH is like a 2.7 or 3.1, yeah, it's hypothyroidism. It's moving in that direction. Great. So we'll work on that and we can fix that. And like, we do this all the time. So that's the best thing to do. Run the Big 5. The stress, mood, and metabolism is included with it. If you can't run the Big 5, run the stress, mood, and metabolism. If you want to learn how to do this in depth, of course, when you run a lab with an IHP or an EcoLife team, you're going to get a consultation and you're going to get a personalized wellness plan built just for you. That's the amazing thing. Okay. If you want to kind of do it yourself, learn how to do this, I've got a great course on healing your thyroid and Hashimoto's A to Z. So low thyroid or Hashimoto's at stephencabral.com/courses. Literally 4.5 hours. It'll save you from reading a dozen books. It'll teach you everything you ever wanted to know about your thyroid and more. So that's there. So it's literally something for everyone. Let us know how we can help. We want to help. That's what we're here for. So the Big 5 are at stephencabral.com/big and the number 5. The stress, mood, and metabolism at stephencabral.com/hormones-test, or just everything is at stephencabral.com/shop, and you can use the search box. Hopefully this was helpful, everybody. I appreciate you tuning into the show. You're amazing. I'll be back tomorrow with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.